My name's Chris McCarron. I'm a real estate agent in the Boston area, and I'm also the author of a book called Real Estate Investing, Is It For You? We had already been staying in the tiny house when we wanted to go to New Hampshire, and there was no room at the schoolhouse. So there was a bed there, a full-size bed, and already sort of a pseudo sink type of thing. So the first thing that I wanted to do is to build a loft to get the bed up out of the living area so that you'd have more space for for just living. The interior of this annex or the tiny house is completely open. So all the rafters were exposed. So in order to attach the beams for the loft, we nailed this one, which actually attaches to the exterior wall. So we nailed that one in first, and that was easier to level. Once we got that one level, we were able to string a line and make sure that all the other ones just lined up with that one. So we put, nails in one side, bang, 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 pop over, do the other side, and then that was it. This part of the construction went pretty quickly. Once we had completed putting up the rafters, what became the floor joists for the loft, we then had to hoist up a big piece of plywood, a couple of big pieces of plywood, which were a little hard to maneuver with all these rafters, but we managed to get them up and over and onto the raft and onto the boards. And then once that was done, we could cut out the beams that were originally holding the house. These roof rafters serve a couple of purposes, but the main one is to keep the house from actually spreading apart. And you have collar ties up top as well that serve that purpose. So they keep the roof kind of from going flat. Once we got these nice big 2x8s in there, we were able to cut out these higher beams that were doing the same job. And that gave us a little more ceiling height in the loft. The next problem that we encountered with the loft is how to get up there. We were just using a ladder, and that is obviously not ideal. You're not going to have renters come in and have to navigate a ladder in the middle of the night. It's bad enough that we had to do it. So we had to figure out a way to get up there. The major problem with that is that no matter where we were thinking of putting the stairs, it was just going to really break into the living space a lot. So we came up with the idea of turning the stairs. You'll come up these two stairs, and then it basically turns into more of a ladder that brings you up into the loft. And you just hang on to the sides of the ladder until you get up to the top, and then you can hang on to the actual roof rafters. This is the back of the bathroom. So we kind of had already lost that space anyway because of the bathroom wall. And then we put this up. So the way we did it, again, we had ordered one extra roof rafter. So we had one 14-foot board. And we said, all right, we can cut this down into two 7-foot boards, but that wasn't going to reach the floor. So that's why we came up with this idea of the platform. And it actually makes it so much better because you can turn the corner. You come up here, you have a moment to compose yourself, and then whoo, you zoop up the ladder. Basically, just put the two boards together and you mark them in the same place. And then we cut small supports to hold up each side of the step and then nail the step onto the support. This area where you see the roll of insulation, that is going to be a drawer that pulls out where you can put extra bedding or basically whatever doesn't have a home anywhere else. Up in the loft, all the rafters and everything are exposed. I mean, they are in the whole house, but it's a problem in the loft because you're sleeping up here, and so you get all kinds of little because you get little like dust bunnies, you get lots of cobwebs and all kinds of gross stuff. So we decided for the sleeping area that you really need to have something to make it more finished. So we decided on this ship lap board. We've already started putting it up. And we were going to use tongue and groove pine, but then at Home Depot I found this ship lap, and it's easier because instead of having to like put it on like a sandwich, like with tongue and groove you have to grab it from both sides. This just kind of goes on top of each other. So we're gonna put these down along the edge. And then basically nail them into place with my trusty nail gun, which isn't going in far enough. Why is that? And you can already tell how much better this is going to look. A little challenging because it's in an angle, so the nails are sticking out a little bit. You can adjust the gun, but I've got it adjusted all the way, so it's just going to have to be banged in. It's just that first row that'll have to be banged in later. And then the next piece basically is just going to go, because this piece has a groove, and this part of the board that's smaller is just going to sit right up on top of the groove like that. Making a nice finish. It's going to give us a nice finished look. I'm getting ready to transition up now and start doing the ceiling. John's passing me the boards through the window. I'm really happy with the way this is looking. So much more cozy than it was, and it's going up really fast. We're more than halfway through the project now, and I can tell you that I really love how it's coming out. It's just so much warmer and nicer. I mean, compared to like this, just looking at the roof rafters, it's just really awesome. You don't need to be concerned about all the spiders and stuff because they can actually come and go at their will. They're not being trapped in the roof. They can just pop right down and do what they like to do. Well, it's finished. The little loft oasis. I can't wait to sleep up here tonight. Before we used to have a bug screen to keep all the stuff from the ceiling from falling on our heads. But now we're not going to need that. It's going to be nice cozy.